Hello and welcome back, friends. So, we have finally reached the point in which they have started these brand new Halloween events. So there's quite a bit to do today. I'm going to do my best to get all of these videos out as quickly as possible. There are really cool new Sanguine Summon characters, which we will look at next. But first, let's start with the typical Halloween portal. I will try to do a separate video for each character. I usually prefer to do it that way so that when people are searching later when they pull something, they don't have to sit through a long form video. So let's go ahead and start things out with the brand new character in Hortensia. Hortensia, well, she looks very cool. She's a nature hero. We have our druid class, so she's going to make little thorn minions. A reminder of the Halloween family bonus. There will be a bonus for 1, 2, or 3 heroes that get +3, +6, +9% mana generation for having additional Halloween characters with them, so that's kind of fun. The passive here is going to be a steal buff. When this character casts their special skill, they have a 65% chance to steal the newest dispellable buff from a random enemy that has buffs. If no enemy has buffs, it deals 150% damage to all enemies. It's kind of fun. In the Aether Power, we have Fiend Resist. So for the first 6 turns, she will be immune to Fiends. That's been more helpful recently with the introduction of the veggies. They're putting out Fiends each turn. Very useful to have that at the beginning of the fight. Then we also have her special, which is Carnivore Garden. Operating at average speed, we will be destroying all minions from the target and nearby enemies. This effect damages Mega Minions as well. Deals 430% damage to the target and nearby enemies, and summons a Flytrap Fiend to the target and nearby enemies. The Flytrap Fiend absorbs healing. It will disappear after absorbing 45% of the target's max health, and when summoned, the Flytrap Fiend reduces the max health of its target by 65 each turn. This effect is stronger against targets with boosted health. The effect lasts longer as the effect lasts as long as the target has the Flytrap Fiend. This effect can't be cleansed. Okay, additional info. Max health can't get lower than 30% of the original max health value. Any boosted health is reduced by an additional 65 per turn. Okay, so there you have it. Let's talk about this character. What are we getting out of her? What makes her cool? What you kind of lacking in? That kind of stuff. Well, one, we'll start out with this passive of stealing buff. I do like the idea of stealing buff, but I do want to point out that this steals only 1 buff, and it's off of a random enemy, so you're not even sure which enemy you're stealing the buff from. It's cool, but it's not necessarily like that cool. In fact, stealing 1 buff may not even be as good as doing the 150% damage to all enemies, which would be added on top of her damage that she does on her special. So honestly, cool, but again, only 1 is not super exciting. Then down here, we have the Destroy All Minions. Lots of characters have this effect, but it is useful to have for target and nearby. Damages Mega Minions. That's fun. She is doing 330%, which is a reasonable hit to target nearby. The Fiends are fun. They're different, right? I like that these Fiends not only are going to be creating or absorbing 45% of the healing, but they're also going to reduce the max health. Here's the trade-off for that. Although I do think this is cooler than them just doing a hit that's usually not that significant, they don't do damage themselves, right? Normally a Fiend will hit for a certain percentage of the attack of the character each turn. These do not. They do the max health reduction instead. Why is that probably a more beneficial effect? Well, you can't heal off the max health reduction, right? So the normal Fiend hits are not really that big a deal, and 1 heal will probably top them back off like nothing had ever happened. These guys leave a lasting and lingering effect throughout the rest of the battle each time they tick. So I do think that that's probably more significant than a standard Fiend. So with that in mind, where do we rate this character? You know, I really, really, really want to be overly impressed by her and say she's great. Like some of the seasonals recently have been really, really good. But I would say I'll put her, I'll give her the 8. I'll give her an 8 only because I think her Fiends and the max health reduction is going to be a pretty powerful effect to chomp away at the opposing team and very annoying and going to make them want them focus on getting rid of these Fiends as soon as possible. With that additional caveat, but like she's barely getting into the 8 range. I mean, a hit 3 at average. It is a pretty decent hit, and these Fiends are okay, but the Fiends are pretty easily healable off. 1 heal should clear them. I mean, 7.58, I think, is probably where she belongs, given the strength of new characters that are releasing right now. But with that being said, I do think you level her. If you get her, go ahead and level her. She's fantastic, like depth, and maybe she's not a game changer, but she's still a good character. Okay, let's move on to our next option.